Hey everyone, it's Jensen here again. Getting back at it. Last week I was out on vacation, so I didn't see many sports the weekend before, and I was busy, so I didn't make any videos. Anyways, last Saturday was a pretty good weekend of football. We had the USC game that they survived. Not the best of games, but and then I guess I should start off with Drake London, who is by far the best wide receiver. And if the voters of the country had were paying attention, they'd vote him the Belentikov, or however you say that award, winner, even though he broke his ankle and will no longer play for the remainder of the season. He's just so much better than everyone else that he deserves it. Anyways, so very sad that he broke his ankle scoring a touchdown on one of those plays. The other takeaways from the game, I mean, there's not much to analyze as far as where the team is. The team is not very good. I mean, we've got some good players. Keontae Ingram, running back, he's pretty good. But the quarterbacks, so they were rotating the quarterbacks, Keaton Slovis and Jackson Dart, which was interesting. And I like I've been saying, I like Jackson Dart in there a little bit more because he throws the football down. Now, they both struggled in the second half a little bit. They both didn't look great. Jackson Dart still looked like he was injured a little bit. He didn't seem as quick as he was when he was playing against Washington State. They had no designed runs for him. They're running the same offense, and it'll be nice to get a new offense, I think. Although, a miracle upon miracles, Keaton did hit a nice big pass play for a touchdown. So that may have been one of the only times we've had an open wide receiver running down the field all season long. So that's good. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I want Jackson Dart in there, but I don't want him in there if he's still somewhat injured. And I know, like, you can play hurt and not necessarily play injured. So, what is his status on that injury? I don't know. If he's good enough to go, I would put him in, and let's get ready for the future. I think he's the future right now, and yeah. So that's that. I mean, USC plays Arizona State. I'll talk about that later in the week. Other things that have been going on. We've got, I'll just toot my Allsvenskan. IFK Göteborg has now won 4 straight games, one of them against the top of the league. And so, I mean, against Djurgården. So we're firmly in the middle now. And with, I think it's 4 games left, I think we're pretty safe from relegation, especially because 2 of the games are against real bottom teams. So I think, fingers crossed, IFK Göteborg is firmly okay. In fact, if they keep on closing out the season, then they can move on up. They're not too far back from some of them. I mean, they can't win anything, but and how did they do it? By playing young guys, running after it, like I was talking about earlier in the season. We're going to Manchester United. There's something wrong with them. I like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I don't know. They beat Tottenham, but Tottenham's no good. After getting, a week getting shellacked by like Liverpool, and they just seem to be not in the class. Today was very exciting against Atalanta again. In Italy, they came back, and Cristiano Ronaldo scores 2 incredible goals, one both in stoppage time, one at the end of the first half, one at the end of the second half, to come away with a 2-2 draw. So that's good, but there's so much talent on their team that they should be doing better. And their defense is just shaky. shaky. I don't know. Anyways, that's the soccer front. We'll see how they do. They're playing Manchester City here on the weekend, so that'll be that'll show us. I mean, and eventually you're gonna have to move on from Ole if he can't get it. Now, having said that, if Norwegian connection, if he can get what's his bucket, Holland, whatever, the Norwegian striker that's just incredible, Erling Haaland, I think, but then you might want to keep him just in order to get him in the January transfer window. Anyways, let's move on to college football playoff rankings. They just came out, and I don't know what's wrong with this college football playoff committee. They're absolutely retarded, and I mean they're just not smart. We'll say it that way. I don't know what they're thinking. So, of course, Georgia's number 1 on their list. Then they've got Alabama number 2. Now, again, if you're saying the best teams, and I think that's what they must be doing, which I think is utterly ridiculous, then fine. I mean, but why are we even playing the games then? Alabama's going to be the best team or one of the 2 best teams, whether they win, whether they lose 1 game, 0 games, or 3 games. They're still going to be one of the best teams. So it makes no sense. They really need to change it so that they're rewarding the teams that deserve to be there. I mean, there's no reason why Oregon and Ohio State should be ranked ahead of Michigan State, of Oklahoma, of Cincinnati. And then they're all down there. Wake Forest is like at 10 or something. I can't remember now. They're way down there. And it's just like, come on, guys. Is Alabama's schedule really, I mean, I don't know. Cincinnati has all the reason to cry. I mean, no, they don't have the strongest schedule, but they did go to Notre Dame, a team that the committee has put in the top 10. They went to them and beat them. So, having said that, let me give you my top 15, 16 here. This is what it should be. I've got Georgia's number 1. Their defense is just incredible. They just destroy everyone. Florida was lucky to get any points against them. Anyways, they're number 1. Number 2, I've got Cincinnati. Do I think they're the second best team? No, but they're undefeated. They have that great win against Notre Dame. And they've been consistently good. They had a weaker game on Saturday, but they still won. And so I'm still putting them up there. I'm not going to drop them. Number 3, Michigan State. They had the big win against Michigan. So yeah, they deserve to be up there. They've played some good teams. They've won everything. They're up there. Number 4, I've got Oklahoma. Has Oklahoma played anyone of significance? No, not really. But they're undefeated. They've had some hiccups, but they're still moving along, and they don't have a loss. Number 5, I've got Wake Forest, undefeated, Power 5 conference team, and the committee has them way down. Again, Wake Forest, have they played anyone? Not yet, but they're still undefeated. Give them some credit. Number 6, I have UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio. They're the other undefeated team. It's far enough in the season. Are they better than anyone else? No, that's undefeated? No. Are they as good as most of the teams, below them with 1 loss? No. But they deserve to be up there. They've won the games they've played. The other teams can't say that. So I'm putting them as 6. 7, Alabama. Alabama is the best team out there that's not Georgia. And so they are the top of the 1-loss teams. Number 8, I have Oregon. And I will give credit to the College Football Playoff Committee. They did put Oregon over Ohio State. They have Oregon at 4, Ohio State at 5. I think that makes sense. It does make sense because Oregon beat Ohio State and they have the same record. They should be ahead of them. I don't care who's playing better right now or who would win right now. They already played in the season, and if they don't play again, then that's the game that matters until they get more separation. Like if one of them loses another game or something, then you can rank one or the other ahead of. But until then, Oregon beat Ohio State. They deserve to be in front. So number 9, I have Ohio State right behind Oregon. Number 10, I've got Michigan. Close game there. Number 11, I've got Oklahoma State. They still only have the one loss against Iowa State a couple weeks ago. Number 12, I've got Baylor. I think Baylor's looking pretty good. They handled BYU a couple weeks ago, so I've got them as 12. Number 13, I have Notre Dame. I'm not as high on Notre Dame. Now, I did not watch the USC Notre Dame game. I was on a flight. But if USC, granted, from everything I've read and about the game and seen highlights and whatnot, I mean, if USC can get within like one score, you're not a good team. I don't think Notre Dame is a good team. I don't think they've played almost anyone, and so whatever. They're at 13 though. They only have the one loss against Cincinnati. So even though they're constantly overrated, they do only have one loss, and it is against Cincinnati, who's in my top, is the number 2 team. Number 14, I've got Auburn. They've surprised me. I didn't think they were good, and they beat Ole Miss pretty darn well, and they're better than I thought they were. So good job, Auburn. Number 15, I've got BYU. I think they're still a solid team. I mean, I don't like that Virginia scored so many points on them. That was a crazy game with like roughly 500 million touchdowns scored in that first half. But BYU, I think they're still a solid team. Like when we're getting down to 15, 15 through 30 here, I mean, I don't know if there's much of a difference between many of these, and one of these teams could beat the other on any other given day, but BYU's, that's where I'm putting them. And then 16, just as an added bonus, Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss has limitations now. After that Auburn game, they're limited. So they're good, but they're not great. So that's how the ranking should be going. I don't know. They should go, honestly, they should just have the BCS, like rank them again rather than this playoff committee. The playoff committee is a joke. A lot of it is TV ratings. I mean, you go all the way back to the very first one. They should have had, TCU or Baylor in front of Ohio State, even though Ohio State ended up winning the championship. They didn't deserve to be in there over the others, but I don't know. It's just a joke. One of these times I'm going to have to give my, what I think the playoffs should actually be. I used to be very limited on that. I think I'm good with an expanded playoff now. Get more teams in there. I like 8, but 12 is also, I can be convinced. I wouldn't go anything over 12. But anyways, I'll save that for another day. Until then, have it so good. Bye.